And this community, we need to produce our books. We need to establish a name, our own name, for being able to produce our own books, our own literature. So we need to do all these books that will come under that heading, beliefs, Muslim beliefs and practices. So those are the simple books that we find everywhere on articles of faith and the pillars of Islam, the pillars. And we don't want to just do these books to make it just to assist someone who wants to know how to do their prayers, or how many pillars there are, pillars of Islam, or 5. We don't want to do it just for that reason. We want to do it to introduce the idea, to introduce the idea and the obligations. The idea and the obligation. We'll understand that better as we go, because when we leave here, we're all going to go and start doing something, all of those who want to work. And I will go too, and I'm going to start doing something. So the next time we meet, I'm going to have something, see, on prayer. I'm going to have something. And what I will have will help you understand what we are looking for. And what you have perhaps will help all of us decide what's going to go into the publication, you see. We don't want a big, thick book. For this first category, we don't want thick books. We don't want thick books. We want small books. We want small books ranging from 20 pages to about 50 pages maximum. We don't want big pages, a lot of pages. 20 to 50 pages maximum. Okay. Now, so much for that category. Well, I would say we're still in the same category. That's not the end. So I'm sorry. We're not finishing with that category. We also want to write on personality of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, which will come under the same group of books, publication. And the companions, but mainly on the Prophet Muhammad himself. Companions, we're going to be brief, very brief. But on the Prophet, we're going to extensive. We're going to discuss his personality very extensively. The Muslim world is geography. We don't want to put together a gazette, so you can get all the facts on the country. But what we want to put together is a look at the Muslims of the world, something like that. We can change titles. A look at the Muslims of the world, and it'll be maps showing where they're all located, maps showing what their land, what kind of resources they have, and their culture. Just a quick look at them, like what Life magazine used to do some time ago. It's not the Life magazine it used to be, but Life magazine used to do that. So National Geographic does it. Yes. Does it very well. Yeah. So it'll be something similar to that. I mean, we can use National Geographic materials. Some of those materials, yes, we use some. They have excellent materials, and we'll be producing it now. This ain't just compiling. We ain't gonna be just compiling. We're gonna be writing. All right. Because we're gonna have something to say about it. Okay. Let me see. I don't want to leave anything. I mean, yeah. And eventually, this is a long range. Eventually, we want to start on, but I think we ought to complete at least the whole category and leave it as the last, translation and commentary on Quran. Quran translation and commentary. Mhm. And we don't wait till we finish it. We do exactly the way Maududi and some others done it. May God be pleased with Maududi. He did so many sections, and he made those available. He died before he completed the works. Maybe others behind him, his students, his or his disciples will complete the work for him. I don't know. And also, a critique of the hadith. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Uh-huh. Not to knock them out, to stand some of them up and put some of them down. Yes. Based upon a principle. That's right. Based upon a principle. That's right. Okay, I think that completes that category now. Now, here's the work here that we have to do, and that is write our own history. Yes. Not our history as Muslims. I thought of that first. We should write the history of the African people. That's right. Not the African American people, the African people. That's right, go to Africa and start there. That's right. With the earliest information on African civilization, and write on it and bring it up to the present time. The big focus is going to be on Islam entering America under the cover of darkness. That's right. We might change all the language a little bit, but we'll keep the meanings. Right. We might change the wording, but we'll keep the meaning. Okay. And that's where our main focus will be. We got to do it ourselves. That's right, Mama. That's right. And then we should have a vision into the future. Concluding chapter should be our projection, what we forecast, what we predict for America. What will be the America of year 3000? Yeah. Yeah, we should have vision. Based upon what we know, we can have a vision. Yeah. And we'll be influencing the course of history. Yes, that's how they do it. They write the facts and then they predict. So we're going to do the same thing. And we're not going to have any stinger. No poison in the rear. Okay. Yes. Now, let me kind of make a few comments on this history you want to write to give you some feel for it. First of all, there have been good writers. You know, there have been some very good writers. So we want to do research, good research. J.A. Rogers, they look at him as a quack or something, but J.A. Rogers did some very good research and came up with some very good information. So we don't want to ignore even J.A. Rogers. Let's look at what he did. We might want to include something from J.A. Rogers, you know. I'm just giving you a feel for what, trying to give you a feel for what we want to do now. Yes. Even storytellers like Aesop, you might not see that as history or education or science, but it is. It is. It is. Even Aesop, we don't want to miss people like that. You know, we don't want to miss them. Because that's contribution to civilization. Right. Yeah. So we want to begin with Africa and go quickly through the history of civilization on the continent of Africa, right, up until the time of the first slave ships coming to America. Right. See, when we come to the slave ships coming to America, that's where we're going to do more elaboration, more concentration, more extensive work, more extensive work. We're going to extend it, to show better what happened. Yes. Nobody, believe me, nobody understands better than we do what has happened to us. Right. Nobody. I stand on the world. I stand on the top of the world and tell, as I said, he stand on top of the world. I stand on top of the world. Now tell the world that nobody understands better what is happening to black folks, the African and African American people and people of the African people of the world. Nobody understands it better than we do. That's why we fascinate all of them when we talk. Yeah. And all of them are listening to some of us. If it ain't the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, it's Malcolm. Farrakhan. Yes. Naim Akbar. Yeah. Yeah, these are the people that they listen to. Right. And the secret is all of them listen to Imam Deen Muhammad. All of them. So 1,000 years from now, they're gonna record their teacher was Deen Muhammad. Because I know how they was talking before they heard me. Talking quite different. They got a new voice now. Well, that's blessings of Allah, you know, on us. That's right. Yes. So when we get to the slave history, we're going to spend more time. And I personally want to handle the issue of psychology in the experiences of the slaves and the freed slaves. Yeah. Yes. And yes. And when we write this book, it's going to be expose, exposition, and it's going to be analytical or interpretation. Yes. We're just not going to write it. We're going to have something to say about it. Why it happened like that. We want to give our opinion of why these things happen. Yes. Mm-hmm. Not to just say it happened, but let's give some reasons for it. That's right. Right. So that's analytical work, right? Yes. Yeah. So we want to do an analytical work too, as well as reporting. Just reporting facts, but we want to report facts and then do an analysis. Doing an analysis. And lastly, a projection or a prediction. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So that's how we want to treat the history. And we want to show the people in their spirit, in other words, the spirituality, not the religions, but the spirituality. We want to look at the spirituality of the black family tree or the African family tree. Look at the spirituality and be analytical and also critical. Analytical, by our analysis should also critique the African people's spirituality. Yeah, because it's a big problem. It's a big asset and it's a big liability. It's great capital and great poverty at the same time. And usually it's the commercial world that makes great capital on our spirituality. Yeah. Yes. So let's see how our time. Yeah, we're still in good shape. Oh, we're almost at the end of this time here. We about at the end of the presentation from me, but we want to open it until someone might have some comments you want to make. You want to limit the time. No, not just that yet. Just a few minutes, just a couple minutes. I'm going to close out. I'm almost at the end. Yes. Now, there's also another work that I'm going to do, but I'm going to have to do it almost entirely by myself, and you'll understand why. And that is a look at W. Farad and his student, Elijah Muhammad. Yeah. Yeah. I want to do that, and I'm going to ask your help. You won't help me. I'm going to have some room for you to give me plenty of help, but most of the writing will be done by me. But some research, I'll have you all help me with some research, and I'll tell you what kind of materials I'll be looking for, what kind of information I'll be looking for, and you can help get my hands on that information. We're talking about something that's going to change the looks of this community.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
When we start putting out publications like I envision, we're going to change the way people look at this community. Yes. Oh, yes. And this is what lives. See, your talk won't live, but what you put in print lives. Yeah. And your children will read it, and they will know us, and they will be able to keep up with the life that God has developed for us. They'll be able to keep in touch with that life and keep in that life and keep up with that life and make improvements upon that life. Yes, their better minds will come up and they'll make improvements upon that life. But if you don't produce it in writing, it fizzles out. So I think I've completed what I wanted to bring to you today, and I hope you felt that your time, it was worth your time to come out here. It was worth my time, I know that. Just to let you know what we want, so all of us know what we want, and then look at yourself and see what you can do. Go back home, and every time something hits you, jolts you, go write it down. Write it down. Don't take chances, you lose it. You know, the Bible said that God caused manna and quail to rain down from heaven. But those who let that manna stay on the ground too long, when they woke up in the morning, it was gone. So we don't want to be like that, you know. All right. Praise be to Allah. Thank you very much. So I'm going to, Allahu Akbar.